Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptid.
Was these two globes. I don't know how to describe them. And I stood up there and looked at them, and it's like...
I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was a chupacabra. I was so excited.
They were referring to Bigfoot.
There are voices in the darkness.
Reason why this show is called Drunken Cryptid.
And welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptids. I'm your host, Matthew Orton. And I do want to give a shout out real quick to Dylan over there at blademedia.com. Dylan, thank you for the graphic. Thank you for the website. You guys, Blade Media did the graphic for us for our logo. And they also built the website. If you want an example of what Blade Media can do, please go check out their website, blademedia.com. That's Blade, B-L-A-Y-E-D, media.com. So go give them a shout out. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate everything you've done. And of course, special shout out to the team. I don't do this by myself. I have a good team that supports me and surrounds me. So I definitely want to give a shout out to you guys. As always, I mean, I'm not where I'm at, because of me. It's because of the team that I have around me. So thank you again. Appreciate it. All right. Shows coming up. We do have on January 14th, we are going to be at the Censored Monkey from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out, meet us. We'll have the equipment. We can record some of your encounters. There's some folks that are reaching out to us to are going to meet us up there. So come out, join us. We'll have a good time. It is a 21 and only establishment, though, so you got to bear that in mind. Sorry, kids. On February 8th, we are going to be at the Paradise Pizza in Ozark, Arkansas. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Again, February 8th, Ozark, Arkansas, Paradise Pizza, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be doing an open town hall meeting with Todd Neese, good friend of mine. Great guy. You get a chance to come meet him. Ask questions to myself, to Todd. It'll be hosted by the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, who will also be doing some expeditions that weekend. So if you want more information on that, go ahead, email me again, message me again, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. The big news is April 5th, live show with the Cryptids of the Corn guys. That's right, they're going to come down here to Arkansas. We're going to be at Old Barracks, 600 North Main Street in North Little Rock from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's on April 5th. Tickets are for sale. This is a ticket event, you guys, so limited seating, limited availability. I'll be recording for an hour. They're going to be recording for an hour. I know what Justin and Jay are going to be talking about. I know what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be a good time, you guys. You get a chance to meet and greet with us, ask us questions. With a live show, we get a chance to kind of show pictures, versus like a radio show, how you just hear us talk, we describe, but we get a chance to show pictures. We'll be sharing everything that we've been doing, what we've been up to. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get a chance to meet and greet with us. Old Bart's is going to have a full menu available, including the Drunken Cryptid Burger, which is an amazing burger. Paul, I love it over there. Thanks, man. That's on April 5th, though. The ticket information is available on the website. It's on our website. It's on the Cryptids of Corn website, and it's going to be in the description of the show below. So please make sure that if you want to join in, great. Get your tickets before they go because they are selling. If you are coming from out of town, go ahead, message me. I can help you get hotels in the area close by. That way, you know where it's at, and you get a chance to hang out with us. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna visit with you guys. The show's about y'all, so come out, hang out with us, and join in. And of course, you guys, I appreciate all the support. Keep liking, keep sharing. It means a lot to me. Keep commenting. If there's an episode you like, great. Drop a comment. Hey, I love this show. If you don't like it, well, don't comment. I mean, the world's full of trolls. It really is. Not as many as there used to be. But go ahead, like, comment, share. I appreciate all the 5-star reviews, you guys. I really do. The more comments we get, the more that we get out there in the algorithm, and that helps the show grow, and it can reach some other people who are trying to maybe get some encounters, they feel lost about. So this does help folks out. So the more you like it, the more you share it, the more people get out there. So I appreciate it. But again, if you've had an encounter and you want to talk about it, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. And follow us on all your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X. We are everywhere. So appreciate it. But now, on to the show. And welcome to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. Of course, y'all know me, it's Matthew, and I got with me Jacob here with me this evening.
What's up, everybody?
And we have a really good guest coming on, fan of the show. Mm-hmm. So reached out. We kind of met each other a couple of weeks ago on the Patrick and the People show.
Nice.
I know. So we met. We were out there hanging out, just kind of goofing off and talking about Sasquatch and started talking about our past and everything and found out we have some common ground. Don't we, Jerad? How are you?
Yes, sir. We do have some common ground.
Man, we got a little bit of history together. Well, we were in the same place, just at different times.
Just different eras.
So, but Jerad, man, how's it going today?
Oh, man, it's going pretty good.
Good.
Just staying busy, getting ready for this big holiday.
I think everybody's getting ready for the big holiday. I'm ready for the big holiday to be over with, which
Same.
when this episode airs, it's just 2 days away. So, Merry Christmas, everybody out there. Hope you're having a great one and you're spending time with your family and your friends.
Absolutely.
I had to do my commercial voice there for you. Call 555-1234.
Dude, I can't get over that number.
If this is your first time listening to the show, folks, I apologize. we like to goof off a little bit at first before we get serious. So, but Jerad, you're coming on, and you. So since we have common history, we got talking together, and you told me we were both stationed in Schweinfurt. I left Schweinfurt in 04, and you got there in what year?
It was, I guess it was January of 2009.
5 years after I left then. Okay. So, well, actually, no, it would have been almost little over 4 years. I left in October of 04 is when I left.
Okay.
Yep. I
And
landed
was
here
there
in Little
till,
Rock.
I think September 2010. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give or take. And I ended up in Carson there at the end.
Man, I was stationed at Carson as well.
Really?
Yep. I was in Carson
That's
from 96 to 98. Carson was going to be my retirement destination.
Yeah, my first duty station was my retirement destination. That was Fort Knox, Kentucky.
See, I never made the Knox. Yeah, my first
Definitely
duty
out there.
station was Fort Riley, and that was definitely not on my retirement list.
Nice.
Fort Riley was horrible. And if you've been stationed at Fort Riley out there, folks, you already know what I'm talking about. Yeah, when I was there, from 94 to 96 is when I was there. And it was home, division headquarters of the Big Red One. So I started my career with the Big Red One and ended my career at the Big Red One.
Very nice.
Because you know what they say, if
I
you're
didn't
gonna,
even
if you're,
realize you was that old, man.
I know if you're gonna be an asshole, man, you got to be Big Red One. So, but man, okay, so without giving too many things away, if you're ready, man, we'll let you jump right in and get started on your encounter.
Yeah, man, we can do it, man.
All right, go ahead, fire away, Jerad. Show's yours.
All right. So I guess it was January, sometime more towards the end, probably more February of 2009. I ended up at Barracks in Schweinfurt, Germany. And man, it was really crazy. At first, I really didn't know the history of the place, I guess. So I wasn't expecting anything. I just pretty much expected it was probably going to be like any other base that I'd been at, but I found out real quick it wasn't.
Okay, so real quick, they didn't during your in processing, because I remember my in processing there, for Schweinfurt, we had to go through. We went with a history class of what took place there. I mean, the bombings of the spot right outside Schweinfurt on the Autobahn.
Driver's test.
Yep, the driver's test, which is horrible.
Yep.
All the signs you have to memorize are absolutely ridiculous. But I did. I got mine first time go. I got to brag.
Yep, me too.
That's what I'm talking about. That's bragging rights right there.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of people that do not pass the driving test right off the bat, and that was a first time go.
I knew some people.
Oh, that's how you did it. I didn't know. Well, I knew a few people over there, but they weren't. Yeah, they couldn't help me. And our instructor was kind of weird. My favorite sign was
I knew
asphalt.
some people that didn't pass it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
same. We had half my class in to pass it.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, you have to take a driving test. You have to drive, you get the signs, and they have this big board, and the board is almost the size is a wall. It's a wall of all the German signs, and they will light one up, and you have to coincide with what it means. Yeah, and then you get this. Yeah, it's not a picture. You get a plastic card and everything. Then you can drive in Germany and Europe.
Yep. I
That's
actually rented a
interesting.
car, and it was a Fiat. I thought I was something. And I got on the Autobahn, and some guy in like a Bugatti or something passed me up like it was nothing. I was floored out, man.
I took my S10 over there, and it was. I remember I had because I really didn't drive too much on the Autobahn that much. It was when I was going through the medical process, and I had to go to. My brain just went away.
Lawnstool, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Lunchstool. I had to go to Lunchstool, and which is like a 4-hour drive from Schweinfurt. And
That's about right.
I remember I hit the governor on the truck so many times because you're just not. I mean, the governor be driving along. Oh crap! And you're being passed. I mean, you're going like 80, 90 miles an hour, and you're being passed like you're standing still.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, there is no speed limit on the Autobahn.
There's a speed recommendation.
Oh, there is a speed recommendation.
There's a speed recommendation, and it's recommended. It doesn't mean it's enforced.
No.
And my favorite is, where's Ausfahrt, Germany?
Dude, what?
Yeah, it means exit.
Exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Ausfahrt.
Ausfahrt.
Yep, the Ausfahrts. Yep, exit.
Ausfahrt.
Yep, where's
Okay.
it says Ausfahrt with an arrow. It's like I saw a T-shirt
Good
somebody
time.
made up said, "Where's Ausfahrt, Germany?"
Yeah.
So that was the big joke while I was there all the time. We're going, "Where's Ausfahrt?" Then I don't know. I had
It
a
hung
lot of,
on after you left.
well, Gladiator was still kind of a big movie when I got there, and if you remember the movie Gladiator, at the very beginning, they're fighting the Germans.
Yeah.
And the one general goes, people should know when they're conquered. And so whenever I'd get upset with the locals, I'd always be like, people should know when they're conquered. Not only did we do it once, we had to come back again. I mean, come on. So make this a third time, people. But no, the German people, though, in all honesty, I loved it. That was one of my favorite duties. That's why I have Jacob here, because Jacob feeds my ego with my jokes. But no, the German people are great. And I tell everybody, if you get a chance, you're driving along and you see tents put up in the field, you better go check it out because it's a little fest. And you're going to drink really good beer and eat really good food. And the best beer I've ever had in my life has been in Germany. The German people everywhere I went, honestly, were some of the best, friendliest people you can imagine. And the whole country is clean. I mean, there's no litter. They throw litter out, they're going to pull you over. They don't.
Heck yeah.
They don't play around
I know.
at all. Now, I do have a funny story about the Polizei and me, and black ice
do I.
and my truck.
Oh, God.
So was going home. I lived in Bad Kiss again. Okay, and it had been snowing. It's wintertime. They keep the roads pretty cleared. I was trying to take the exit.
Yeah.
Hit black ice, and had traffic. Oncoming traffic coming towards me.
Okay.
Spun out into the traffic, thinking there's a speed recommendation.
Of course.
Okay. I'm freaking out, trying to get the truck to the fish shell it back to hit the road, took out a German road sign
Oh, God.
in my S10. Now, you know what it did to the S10?
Nothing?
Scratched it. I flipped that damn sign end over the truck, landed behind me.
And it just scratched your truck.
It just scratched the front of the truck. And it's just a little S10. And got out, and one of the cars that was coming towards me happened to be the Polizei. And he saw everything happened, and he just said he was just going to write it off and not give me a ticket or fine me. Because, you can get fined for that stuff over there.
Yeah.
So, I digress. All right. Sorry, Jared.
No, you're good, man.
You're just talking about Germany before we got on the show, and all these memories come flooding back.
No, I get it, man. I'm all about sitting down and talking about memories of Germany.
Germany was a good time. It was a great time. I loved Germany. I really did.
I just thought what was amazing was the fact that I went into a bar and asked for a pint, and they looked at me and kind of smiled. Like, they could definitely tell I was an American.
Yeah, you try and blend in, but you have a high and tight, and you have like this, and you dress like an American. The funny part is that every soldier dresses the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of our clothes come from the PX.
Every bit of them.
Yep, everybody, you can always tell. You can always tell. Yeah, the high and tight give us it away, the way we dress. And, you try and be polite, and, ein be a bitte, and, try and speak their language and help them on out. And it's just, lots of times I had a lot of the locals just kind of wave away and just like, you stupid American. That's just kind of how it felt.
Yeah, I've been called a lot of things in German.
So was I. A lot of things. A lot of things. My favorite one, I can't tell that story on the air. Nope, can't tell that story. I had to stop. Can't tell that one on the air. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that one
Maybe
I'll tell
afterwards.
you. That
Maybe
one I'll tell you
afterwards.
off the air. So.
All right. Well, I'll be ready to hear it.
Yeah, it's quite comical, and it is. I was the best man at my buddy's wedding. He married a local, so I'll leave it at that. All right, so Jerad, you get to Germany, 2009.
Yep.
All right, you're stationed on con.
Yep. So I guess I probably need to backtrack a little bit. 9 months, 10 months prior to that, I was in Afghanistan in the Korengal Valley, and my buddy had got hit in the head with. There's been some kind of dispute. I've heard a rock, and then I've heard a piece of plywood, and I'm not 100% sure on it. I thought it was a piece of plywood because I was there. And he got hit in the head, and he got knocked out. And we didn't think nothing of it. He came back to, everything was good. We all lived to see another day, and we got on the bird, and we left. And then when we got back to the rear, every medical physician that was standing there waiting on us as soon as we got there asked us, has anybody ever got hit in the head? And then my buddy said, well, yeah, I did, and I got knocked out a little bit. So then they do an x-ray, and unfortunately for him, he had I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know. I guess you'd call it an aneurysm, some kind of impact on his brain. So they decided to do surgery on it. Well, unfortunately for them, when they did surgery on it, it ruptured and it put him in a coma. And for the last probably 2 months before I went to Germany, I was going up to the hospital as much as I could and do my regular Army duties. And then that was kind of it. And then I figured people would keep in contact with me, which most of them did, and let me know what was going on. And then probably 2 weeks after I got to con barracks and got my barracks room, I was sound asleep, and I woke up. Can't explain really what woke me up, but I woke up and I looked over in the corner, and the gentleman that I was talking about, I'm not going to name his name. I think it's kind of disrespectful. It's his family's business to talk about, but he was sitting there kind of crouched and curled up, and he didn't say nothing. He just looked at me, and I don't really know how to explain it. I want to say that he looked at me and I felt that everything was good, but I'm no expert. I don't know. I just know that he pretty much slowly vanished away. It wasn't like you hear on the TV shows where people just were gone. 1 second they were there, 1 second they were gone. This guy just kind of slowly vanished away, and it was all good. And then I'm not 100% sure because it's been a little bit, but I'm going to say 24 to 48 hours later, I got the email from my old platoon sergeant that let me know that he passed away. And then I guess from there, I really didn't think that there was necessarily anything crazy going on. I just kind of assumed that it was, unfortunately, the inevitable. We all kind of felt that things wasn't getting any better, and it wasn't going to get any better. So I kind of just brushed it off like there was no problems. But then later on, I found out there were.
I'm really sorry for the loss of your friend. I really am. And
well, I mean,
it's
a terrible tragedy, but I guess that it could have been 1,000 times worse. Considering where we were at and what we were doing, I guess it could have been We could have took a whole lot more casualties. So to only take one to a piece of plywood or a rock, depending on who you ask, you know, I guess it wasn't terrible. It was still terrible to lose a buddy.
Yeah, in 2005, a good friend of mine, we had been to Hood together in Germany together, and he ended up in Hawaii and went in for rotator cuff surgery and never woke up. And I was like, of all the things that we went through, that takes him out. You know what I mean? So, but so you said he was, so when you say he was crouched, curled up, I mean, was he like in the corner? Was he sitting crouched up, or was he laying down curled up?
You know, I'm trying to remember the album cover, but there's a band. I want to say it's either Tool or maybe it was Godsmack or somebody that on the album cover, they've got someone like crouched down, looks like they're naked. You can't see anything.
I think
but
that's
they're
Tool.
like hugging their legs, like their knees.
Oh, okay. So he was,
Yeah.
he was sit down hugging his
And
knees,
it was pretty much in the same position.
and that's about the same time frame that he passed away.
Well, within 24 to 48 hours. I can't be 100%. I've tried to go back and figure it out. I can't.
Did you guys have like a real special bond or anything?
No, not really, man. I mean, when we were at Knox, we had a lot of Jack Daniels nights, if you know what I mean. But
I
it
do.
wasn't like
Barracks
we
parties.
were just the best buddies in the world.
I wonder if maybe he felt a connection to you. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I think this was kind of the point where mentally I was starting to break down, I guess.
Okay. So when you say mentally start to break down, yeah, you just kind of you open up that door right there. So I'm going to let you walk into it, buddy.
Well, I really don't know how to explain it. You know, I've heard people call it shell shock or PTSD or whatever you want to call it. Like,
Well,
I don't really
PTSD,
know
shell
if
shock
it's
it's the same thing. Shell shock, PTSD is the same symptoms. It's the same.
exactly.
It's the same thing. And anybody who's been in any traumatic experience, and whether it be there's lots of people involved in the car wrecks who still freak out when they're riding in a car because of that.
Yeah.
You know, so anything traumatically, and it doesn't always have to apply just to combat. So, you know, I'm never one to judge anybody at all. If they say they have PTSD from an incident, because I'll be honest with you, you know, if I'm in a car wreck, I'm more likely going to be okay. You know what I mean? Driving again. But for some people, that they're not. You know, and I've been in a car accident. We got rear-ended hard at Fort Hood. I mean, I got whiplash. I mean, it was horrible. But yeah, never bothered. I mean, you know, I was okay. But other people are just like panicking about it. So
One thing I learned throughout was like everybody can experience the same thing and everybody's going to have a completely different outcome.
True. I saw guys that had fully dark hair that would turn gray overnight.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so. But I digress. She says, I'm real curious though, because when we're talking about him curled up, but you said you got the feeling that everything was okay.
Yeah, I never felt anything negative. I just felt almost as if it was like something was telling me, like, it's time. Like, this is it. What you've been thinking and preparing for 2 months, and everybody else within your squad and your platoon has been preparing for, is actually happening. Like, I don't really have any other way to explain it.
So yeah, I get that, but what the contradiction on the feeling versus what you were seeing is what I'm because I'm picturing this guy in the corner of the room, curled up, sitting on the floor,
Yeah.
curled up, almost like he's scared.
Exactly.
But you're getting the sense that everything's okay.
That everything's fine. Yeah.
I mean, I could go down 50 different trails on this one. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
it's as weird as it comes, but
Because-
I really want to point out before I go any deeper that if you've ever seen the movie 1408,
Yeah, John Cusack in it based on Stephen King.
yeah, that room that I lived in pretty much felt that way. Like it was almost like the room had control of my brain and I was living within my brain, if that makes any kind of sense.
Absolutely. I had a buddy of mine at Carson that came from Germany, and he said that his barracks were haunted. His room in Germany was haunted, and potentially brought it with him to Carson, because his room at
Maybe
Carson
so.
was haunted.
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about it. You know, you can watch every TV show in the world, and every entity is evil, and I just can't feel that. Like, I don't feel like every entity in the world is evil. There's no way it
I
can
agree
be.
with you 100% on that one. And with Podcast Time Travel, the episode hasn't aired physically as of as this recording. It will have aired by the time that this episode comes out.
Yeah.
But me and Marita, she comes back on for a second interview, and we talk about angelic encounters of the supernatural and such. And I talk about how there are everything paranormal. If you watch TV shows, you watch this, you watch that. We've been brought into our mind. Anything paranormal that out there is evil. If something shows up, you see a dog walk through your house. It's an evil dog. It's a devil dog. It's it's a hound of hell. It's not like it goes into so many spectrums. And you're right. I'm not an expert on the paranormal. If anybody that comes out and claims to be an expert on the paranormal is more likely not. The paranormal is it's a field that is hard to study. It's it's like it decrypted the world, and everybody listening, y'all know it. We have our theories, and my theory changes daily, on almost hourly on a lot of stuff on what it could be. Because even when I'm not recording, I'm brainstorming, I'm kicking this idea around, I'm rehashing that. I'll get a hold of Jacob, throw some ideas at him. I'll get a hold of Tommy, do the same thing. I'll talk with some other podcasters out there, and we'll cross ideas out there to each other, and that's behind the scenes. So it's always, my opinion's always evolving. And, like what I'm looking at here, since you mentioned, 1408 and your barracks room there, so Schweinfurt, the history of Schweinfurt, for those who don't know, was a factory city during World War II, and we bombed the snot out of it. There was an airfield there as well. The Germans had, their little field. We bombed the snot out of that too. The Americans, when they came in and occupied Germany, for their training, for their barracks, for everything. I mean, if you have a base there already, and I kind of talk about this with John, we're going to occupy the same place that we were, that somebody was already there before. Obviously, it's a good spot. We're going to take it. All the training ground that we have in Germany is old Nazi training ground. I mean, it is. It's so, yeah, nothing changed. Just, new owner, if that makes sense. And with everything traumatic and what we know the history of the Nazis, and the barracks, I mean, the barracks in Germany, even if us rebuilding on top of that stuff, did always seem odd.
But we didn't rebuild on Con.
Not a lot of it.
No, we took the only information I could find on the base, which happened later, was that it was essentially a hospital. And of course, some of the internet says a morgue and some of the internet says a psychiatric ward, but who really knows? That was a long time ago.
No, you're right. And you got to take a lot of that with a grain of salt. Kind of what right now, Schweinfurt's been turned back over to the locals. We don't have any Americans in Schweinfurt. I mean, duty station, military-wise anymore. So our old homes are gone. It's turned over to the locals now. So, but I do Schweinfurt, being stationed there with the history. Excuse me, but with the history that was going on, and your barracks are like, was that the only encounter in your room though?
Mm-mm.
Let's carry on.
That was just the start.
Well, let's get started.
Let's get of this whole story.
Well, let's get digging into these. Let's just going on because.
All
Maybe by talking it out and talking about it, maybe we'll find an answer to come back to your buddy.
Well, I hope so. We got a lot to cover.
All right, let's start unpacking.
All right. So basically, the incident with my buddy that happened probably 2 weeks after I got to Germany, and I pretty much shrugged it off like it wasn't nothing. I kind of thought it was something when I found out that he had passed away, but then at the same time, like I've heard of interdimensional connections, I guess, that makes people hear that kind of stuff. So I guess it wasn't too weird for me. But then 2 weeks later, I was asleep, and I want to be 100% transparent here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I was awake or if I was asleep, but I felt as if someone grabbed me by my left ankle and pulled me straight out of bed. Like straight, all in one movement. I went completely horizontal, out one way, over the bed, and then dropped down to the floor.
No.
Yeah, it did happen. But I 100% don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a dream. I don't know if I was asleep.
Okay,
I don't know if I was awake.
You went to the floor though, right?
Yeah, straight to the floor. That's where I woke up at.
Okay, so did it pull you, straight off the bed, or did it like roll you off?
Like there was no like, if you imagine watching a video of somebody getting pulled off something, gravity will make them hit everything on the way down. Like this was not like that. My head did not hit the side of the bed that I was sleeping on. It just went straight out and then straight down.
So you got pulled from the head of the bed to the foot of the bed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I was about to ask that.
Yeah, yeah.
Off.
Well, I will tell you that you probably weren't awake for that. You probably were awake afterward.
Yeah,
but
that's what I say.
There's no way physically.
I don't know. Like I don't know if my mind was making me think that somebody was grabbing me by my left ankle and pulling me out of bed, or if it was reality. Like I don't really know.
Well,
honestly, I don't.
Jared, let's unpack that real quick. I'm not seeing the physical way for you to go from that motion being pulled off from the head of the, all the way through the foot of the bed, off the bed.
Unless I came to at the end and I just assume I got pulled out.
Well, how would you do that physically?
Well, nothing physical, but I didn't wake up till I was on the floor.
That happens.
Yeah. So I don't know if I got pulled out or if I fell off. Like I really.
I don't see how you fell off. I don't. I'm not seeing. Do you agree, Jacob? I'm not seeing how you could go from the foot of the bed, be pulled vertically straight off the bed.
No, I can't even see that either. But at the same time, there's many times I've fallen off the bed. Still be parallel to the bed, but not parallel.
Yeah, no, I was
straight
at a
in line with
complete
the foot of your bed.
45-degree angle, I guess, or I guess 90-degree angle.
There is a possibility that he
perpendicular from my bed.
There is a possibility because I have done it. Wake up 45 degrees to a freaking almost horizontal on my bed and nearly fell off the foot of my bed. But being straight in line.
Well, okay. What size is your bed you have at home, Jacob?
I got a queen.
Yeah, we don't have queen beds in the Army.
Yeah, you got twins. Pretty much a bunk.
It's like a twin
a single.
Yeah, it's like a little bit smaller than a twin.
Single.
Yeah. There's nothing there, so you're not going to roll yourself around to do that.
And look. The only reason that I have any kind of speculation is because I don't want to give anybody else that I tell the story any kind of idea to think otherwise. That's the only reason I'm 100% transparent. I know what happened, but I have to be honest.
No. Well, here's the thing. So, one, something paranormal happened to you because you saw your buddy in the corner of the room. Two, something pulled you off the bed. There. That's it. Honestly, the people listening will decide what they want to decide. Just tell the story from your perspective of what happened to you.
Yeah. Well, that's the start of that night, though.
Oh, there's more for that night. Go carry on.
Oh, yeah. So once I get dragged into the floor or fell into the floor or however you want to conceive it, I started getting angry because I thought that some of the 18 and 19-year-old soldiers was getting drunk and they're trying to mess with the team leader. So I'm kind of cussing and running towards the door. And then as I'm getting to the door, I'm waking up and I'm realizing that there's nobody else in my room. And I've got the keys that connects to the outside door latch on the inside of the door latch. And then I open up the door and I say, well, I guess I'm going to go over here to the bathroom. And the barracks there at Con Barracks is they have a community shower and a community bathroom. So there's not a bathroom in your room.
Yeah, we had that at Riley.
Yeah. So I walk across and I see something out of the corner of my eye on the left-hand side, and it's moving from the left-hand side of the frame to the right-hand side of the frame. And the left-hand side is rooms for soldiers, and the right-hand side is windows and a 2-story drop-off.
Okay,
And
so
at
when
this
you say,
point-
hold on. When you say, okay, so I hate pausing you. You know, I'm trying to picture. So you get out, you go out your room.
Yeah,
You're in the hallway.
yeah.
Okay, so to the left of you is the barracks, is rooms.
Well, the left of me is a hallway, and rooms are on the left-hand side.
Okay, so
On
you're
the
standing.
right-hand side, there's windows, and it's a 2-story drop-off.
Okay, so okay.
I'm on the second story.
Yeah, so you're staying in the second story. You come out of your room, and there's a hallway straight in front of your doorway. Am I assuming this
No.
right? No. Okay.
Well, there is kind of a hallway straight in front of my door, but that leads to the community bathroom, the community shower, the community kitchen,
Right.
and then rooms on the right, and then the stairwell. But then on the left-hand side, where all this is going on, is a hallway on the second floor.
Okay, I think I got it figured out. Okay, go ahead. I'm just trying to picture this as you go. That's all.
No, you're good. Where'd I leave off?
Something was moving. You said something was moving from the left to the
On
right.
the left-hand side, yeah. So I'm heading to the bathroom after this whole thing's take place of me getting pulled out of bed or whatever happened. And I see this figure out of the left-hand side down the hallway on the second story of the building. And on the left-hand side is soldiers' barracks rooms. But then on the right-hand side, every probably, 30 or 40 feet is a window. And then on the other side of that is a 2-story drop-off. So I see something out of the left side of my face, and it's a figure, but it's not like a shadow person. I can definitely tell that there's texture there. It's not just a solid color. And then it moves from where a room would be, but I really don't think there was a room there. I think it was kind of in between the two rooms. And then it moved to the other side of the hallway and then just disappeared. And that would have been a 2-story drop as I went to the bathroom.
Okay.
So I go to the bathroom, take care of business. I come back to my room. At this point, I'm 100% awake. I've already had the situation where I thought I got pulled out of bed. I thought I seen some kind of figure on the left-hand side of me. And I just finally said it, out loud. I was like, look, man, if y'all could just leave me alone, I need to go to sleep, and I got to go to PT, 6 o'clock in the morning, right across the street in the PT field. And then I got in my bed, and as soon as I pulled up my covers and I put them up to my chest, all the pots and pans on top of my refrigerator that had never been touched all flew off. Every one of them. They
No.
hit the ground. Yeah, every one of them. So I instantly got creeped out and realized, okay, everything I thought was in my head was probably reality. And I turned on the TV and I just sat there. And I sat there till it was 6 o'clock in the morning, get ready for PT.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking residual out in the hallway.
No.
Honestly,
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
see, just a residual because the old location of where everything was at. Until you went to the pots and pans in your room.
Yeah. Right after I said something openly to something I'd never seen.
Okay. Big question. Do you recognize or to the person down the hallway figure, do you
No,
have
it was
any?
out of my left, like really peripheral vision, left
right.
side
Did you
of the
just
hallway there. I couldn't see much.
okay?
I know it wasn't just a shadow person because it was like definition. I could see like the creases
Okay.
in the jacket or whatever it was that I was seeing. Looked kind of like a light brown jacket.
All right, because that's
I
what I
don't
was
want to
about to
say no
ask. If,
hats or no. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just like looked like a light brown jacket, maybe military, but something.
all right, because that's what I was about to ask you if you turned and looked at him and see any definition or what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean that's really all I could see. It was really out of the corner of my eye. And then once I stopped in the middle of the hallway, right before I got to the bathroom, I looked down the hall and I realized, well, there's nothing down there. And then that was it, man.
All right. So what else happened in this room?
Well, nothing more happened in the bathroom. Like I went and handled my business, and I came back to my room, and then the whole deal with the pots and pans and everything else fell off, and I stayed up the rest of the night. Nothing else happened. But then that was kind of the beginning. That was the start of it all.
Carry on.
All right. Well, I guess let me look at my notes here and make sure I don't get it wrong. So I knew, I don't really want to say after my buddy's incident and him coming back and all that, like I felt it might have been a little bit later, maybe a few weeks, maybe even a month. Like you always felt like you were watched in my room. That was the only thing that was weird that I got at first. Anyways. But as time grew on, the spring hit and well, you've been in Schweinfurt, so you know how Germany is. They don't really have air conditioners. So
Nope.
summertime hits and it's not really hot enough like Arkansas for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's
everybody
true.
just opens up their windows. So I started opening up my window, thinking nothing of it. I smoked cigarettes. So I opened up my window, smoked cigarettes, so smoke went out. And then all of a sudden I started noticing flies. And they were not like one or two, they were like 30 or 40. And they flew around in the center of my room at my ceiling. I asked one of my buddies if he can remember, was it a sprinkler system or was it a sensor, I guess, for smoke alarm? And he couldn't remember, but something was in the center of my room and these flies flew around it. But the crazy thing is they'd never land. They never land anywhere. Not on anybody, not on anything, not on the ceiling, just circled right there in the top. That's it. I don't know if y'all have ever had any experience with that or not.
No.
No. No. Keep going though.
But yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, I didn't really know what to think of it. So fast forward probably a few weeks, maybe a month, I guess, something like that. I was talking to my ex-wife via Skype, and we were messaging each other while we were also on video. We were talking, and then all of a sudden she looks up, or I guess the camera was portraying it more, and all those flies I'd been telling her about that she couldn't see on the Skype video, she could see all of them. There was hundreds of them. There wasn't hundreds in my room, or at least I remember it. And she remembers it all. And then the last thing I remember was her asking me, why is there so many flies in this room? And then the next thing I know, I woke up 2 days later in Schweinfurt at a hospital. And I was throwing up activated charcoal. Apparently, during this point, I ingested a whole lot of medication that I shouldn't have. And I don't remember none of it. Not a single bit.
Had you been drinking?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there more?
Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of the beginning, but that was kind of where it all started, I guess.
Carry on. I'm taking a lot of notes.
Not so. Anyways, I wake up. I've done something bad to myself that I shouldn't have, and I come to in Schweinfurt, and then I was there for about a day, and then I ended up in Landstuhl in Germany, and I was there for probably 3 weeks or so, and then I went back to my unit. So I got back to my unit, and I figured at this point everybody already knew I was crazy, so I should probably start sharing stories, I guess. And then I start sharing stories, and that's when other people started coming to me and telling me more stories. And then maybe I wasn't so crazy anymore. And then I had, I guess it was like 4 people that came up to me, and they're like, "Well, this happened." One guy had his rucksack fell out of his wall locker randomly in the middle of the night. Hadn't happened any time before, so that was kind of crazy. I can't even remember everybody's, but everybody had some kind of story that happened within those barracks. So then we started investigating. I had a buddy that he got a digital voice recorder, and then we started hitting it up every weekend. Everybody else was going out to the barracks. We were trying to find something. And I remember one night we were on CQ, which, if nobody else is familiar with it, CQ is charge of quarters. And during charge of quarters, generally you have some kind of non-commissioned officer that's over a runner, which is lower enlisted. And then they're in charge of that building for 24 hours. Most of the time it's like barracks and stuff like that. So me and my buddy was in charge of the barracks in the building that, not the building I lived in, ironically, it was the building that was connected to within tunnel systems to us. And we had to cover down and do CQ one night. And he said, "Well, I'll get my voice recorder and we'd set it down there and see what we find." So probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours in after we knew everybody was going to bed, so probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, we put up a voice recorder and I took it down in the basement. And then I set it probably, I guess it was a room over. Yeah, probably a room over. And then we left it for like 2 hours, and then we came back and reviewed it. Man, it was all kinds of stuff.
Such as?
Well, I mean, the first thing that we got was within like 15 minutes that it was down there was, I really hate to say, but it's the truth, like old-fashioned music. It wasn't like something that's coming out of a speaker with an MP3 or a CD. This is like a chronograph or something.
So when you say old-fashioned music, I mean, what's old-fashioned to you?
That's the thing. I can't point to it, but it's like every movie you've ever seen that replicates 1940s and 50s.
There we go.
Probably
Okay.
that music. Real
Swing.
big band.
Yeah, big band and swing.
Swing, yeah. Probably. Like a fast tempo.
Okay, and you guys picked this up on your voice recorder?
Yep. Sure did. We got yells.
Were they in
Well, I
German?
guess-
The yells?
No. Well, I mean, everything that we heard was in English as far as voices. Mainly it was just noises. We never actually heard and or seen like any kind of figure, minus my buddy I was talking about, or the guy that I saw the left side of my frame.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just sounds.
And it was all in
Later,
English.
we We ended up in the basement one night. We got about 15, 20 people. There was a bunch of dudes that was just like, oh, this stuff's BS. Like everything y'all talking about, like nothing's for real. Like it's all fake. And then we got down there, and then we all got in this room, and we're sitting there talking. And ironically, there is a voice recording out there. I just have no clue where to even start looking for it. And we're sitting there talking, and this one guy that was kind of known for being, I don't want to say obnoxious because that makes him sound like bad, but loud.
No,
Class clown, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
Being a former soldier, I know what
yeah,
you're talking about.
like,
Yeah,
yeah. Like he made some kind of comment I can't remember, and then it was something along the lines of like, "Oh, all this is fake." And then as soon as he said that, I mean, to the instant, we heard somebody screaming from the left-hand side, and then it got louder as it got closer to the door of the room that we were at. Then it got quieter as it continued on past it, and we instantly looked out the door. There was nobody, not a soul. I can't explain that.
yeah. I'm already writing down ideas and theories that I have so far. So, man, keep going.
Well, all right. So, minus doing the little investigations here and there that we had the little voice or the people screaming and running down from one side of the hall to the other. Really, the last thing that I can remember, and this is where I kind of quote that I felt like I was in the movie 1408. And I remember one night getting up and going to use the bathroom, and I looked out of that same hall that I was talking about, the gentleman that disappeared and walked out of.
Yeah.
And it had a big bay window there that looked out in the parade field, and then straight at the end of that was the chapel. And then anybody that's ever been in the military knows that it's like really non-denominational. Like it doesn't matter. Like the chapel is the worship center. It doesn't matter what your religious belief is, I guess. And I looked out between that window, and there was probably 8 to 10 foot flames coming out of both sides. And I watched it.
Of the chapel?
Yeah, of the chapel on the other side of the parade field where we met up for PT.
Like it was on fire?
And I watched it for a second. Nobody came. I watched it for probably, I say 15 seconds, could have been 3 minutes. I don't know. And I said, well, nobody's going to do it. So I ran into my room. I got my clothes on. And I ran out there. And nothing was wrong with it. Nothing. Glass was still there. The stained glass. There was no smell of any burned anything whatsoever. And then I told my buddies the next day, and they thought I was crazy.
That place is evil.
Essentially, that's pretty much the biggest bit of everything that happened.
All right, that place is evil. And I'm not one to come out and say that, and Jacob will back me on this one 100%. I don't say places are evil. This place is evil. Because my first thought when we were going through, so I'm going to go all the way back. Everything you've told me in all my notes, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning with your partner from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, as you said before, the barracks room felt like you were in 1408. Okay. So, and those of you who don't know the movie out there, I'm going to spoil it for you. It's a story about a guy who goes around to disprove hauntings, and he writes books to, make fun of haunting locations and stuff like that. And he goes to the Dolphin Hotel, if I remember the name right. And it's a Dolphin Hotel. The most famous room is 1408. They don't let people stay there. There's murders, suicides, a whole bunch of stuff that take place in this room. John Cusack does a great job inside the film, and the room is haunted. And it just terrorizes the poor man through the whole entire movie. So, but when you describe this, your barracks room is being 1408, Hang on, I got to make a note. I just heard something.
I guess the best way that I can describe like 1408 in any situation is probably the chapel burning.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it was
I'm gonna
happening, but it wasn't happening.
I'm gonna get So I think with the beginning of everything that started with your buddy, seeing your buddy, you said what I don't like is the fact of the matter he was curled up. He's
Yeah.
curled up in the fetal position. That's a protective, scared position.
Yeah.
Okay, so but a sense of it's going to be okay. That tells me that was the beginning of something going on. Now,
Yeah.
coming back from a combat tour, you're going to carry some psychological. Obviously, you're going to carry some effects from that. I hate using the word. I hate saying the term. You have your own demons from that because that's horrible to use, and that's given demonic people, demonic beings more power. But I think, like I said, you were carrying some trauma, some psychological trauma from that,
Yeah,
and that
for sure.
may have weakened you down. Your mental defenses, I should say. But seeing, my other thought was we were going to have a residual coming through. But no, the pots and pans, when you told it to stop. Now, I will tell you that when I was at Hood, my barracks room had a little something in there. And from time to time, he would, or it would, whatever it would make a noise and move around in my room. And, my room was never pitch black. I had like a lava lamp on. Barracks rooms aren't that big anyway. So, a lava lamp's going to fill the room up. You can see everything in there. And I remember I had a road march. I had to get up and get my guys ready for a road march at 04:30. And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, this thing's walking around, and I sat up and I yelled at it. And, as a typical infantry grunt sergeant would yell, F you, I need to go, shut up. I need to go to bed. I got a road march in the morning, that kind of thing. And it stopped. So anytime in my barracks room, I would tell it to stop, it would stop making noises. But no, this made itself to you loud and proud with the pots and pans.
The pots and pans deal was really the eye opener. It wasn't my buddy that I deployed with that ended up dying 2 days later. Like, I figured that was totally like some kind of, I don't know, like you hear about that kind of stuff all the time where brains link and they somehow figure it all out. I don't know.
I think it used the image and everything of your buddy because you guys were worried about it. You guys were talking about this. Why you PCS?
We were going to Louisville every day to the hospital.
Yeah, so when you PCS to Germany, you're still talking about it.
Yeah.
And so, and those emotions carry on. And the other thing is, too, you mentioned that, your ex-wife, you're talking to your ex-wife. So that means you're probably talking to your ex-wife some more while you're in that room. There's a lot of mental energy you probably put out not realizing it. And a lot of people don't realize just what kind of... I just had a big thing of lightning out there. Must be another round coming through to us. You put out so much energy. Sorry, I just thought that was weird as I was talking about that. The whole window lit up from lightning. Yeah, must be hitting pretty close to the mark, huh? Get y'all riled up like that. Sorry, Han Solo quote. But love Han Solo. They leave impressions in areas, and I think that with this place already being haunted due to its history, and the location, there was something there, and it latched on.
Well, ironically, I'm not even done, man.
You're not done?
No.
Did you bring this Did you bring this with you?
Yeah, I got it right here, man.
Oh, tell her I said hi. I mean, what's up, dude? No, go ahead. I mean, no, seriously, no, dude, I cracked jokes all the time.
This is the last thing, though.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you're fine.
There was one night, I can't specify which night it was because I don't know. I don't remember if it was at the beginning or probably the end of it. I don't know. But what I do know is I fell asleep, and then I heard somebody talking in German. And then I looked over, and there was a woman that I'm going to assume is probably a nurse. She's got all the apparel to probably be a nurse, but 1950, 60, probably around that. Maybe, probably 1950s, 60s. And then all she pretty much does is looks at me, and I'm talking. She's talking in German, and she looks at me. And she puts her finger in front of her mouth like shush, and that's it. And I wake up.
Yeah, that place is messing with you.
But I have seen, like, the only really story about the place I've got is apparently some guys in the Army was there on 2 different times, apparently in the same room, and they seen some German nurse that was antagonized by some Nazi soldier, and then they apparently try to choke them out, and they wake up and realize they're like they can't move. That's the only thing I found about it.
Got a big question. These barracks or whatever. Refresh me again. Where were you at in Germany?
I was Leverett. I was across the street. In Schweinfurt,
Schweinfurt. Okay.
where he was at.
Okay,
But he
because
was at
I'm trying to
Con.
dig up and stuff from World War II German history over in that area.
Yeah,
But at the
Con
same,
Barracks in Leadford was like literally like a 1.5-mile bus ride.
Okay.
No,
away
that's
from me.
that's not it. Because I remember it was like right across it. Yeah, you're right. It was.
Yeah,
I always felt like it was right across the
down
street.
there on the left.
Yeah, we were down. Yeah, you would. Yeah, if you pulled out a Con, you turn right, go down on the
Y'all
left.
was
Is where
right
I
in
was
front
at.
of the Burger King.
I had the Burger King. Yeah,
Yeah, right on the left, right there.
Yep.
Or right straight out the main gate.
yeah. I had the Burger King.
Yeah.
That's right. I did have the
I know where
Burger
you're
King.
at. I was on Con down to the right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That,
but no, I was about to ask. Do you know if? I mean, you said this is. Oh, you know, but I just didn't know if there was a chance and possibility if that used to be a hospital.
well, he mentioned that if you were paying attention.
Yeah, I heard something
Okay.
about
The
some
building had
things,
been a
but
hos-
he,
Asking me, I can barely hear you.
no, I'm sorry. I mean, this thing.
No, you're good.
sucks.
I'm just deaf.
Oh, but no, that's why I was kind of looking up on my phone and all that, trying to see where the Germans had their concentration camps, what used to be hospitals, and in the certain areas and all that. But I mean, I'm just wondering if.
Yeah,
There
I
was no
guess
camps.
From what
I know
looked
there
up,
was
I
no
guess.
camps close to there. That's why I was also
No.
looking.
No, there was no camps. There was the airfield. They had their own barracks. They had their
They had
factories
the
there.
ball bearing plant.
The ball bearing plant is what they were exactly. Thank you for reminding
Yeah.
me. That's what they were.
Yeah.
Yes, all the ball bearings and everything. That's where they
So
were making them at.
ironically, what actually happened, if you look it up and then look at the history of it, they were supposed to go bomb, I think, Berlin, but
Yeah.
the weather got real crap.
And it said they
So
burned
then they
Schweinfurt.
bombed the first
Okay.
real town they saw, which was Schweinfurt, and then it was like everything.
Yeah,
Ball bearing factory, and that was everything.
they
That's
bombed
what they had
the
there.
leveled the city.
Yeah.
I'm
The
not
only thing that's
I'm not
stupid was
laughing
the
to laugh,
base.
but I mean I'm laughing because
But,
of
well, I'm laughing.
it's the Americans. I
Yeah.
mean that's what we do. You know. But all right, so that so I tied that in. Okay, so let me keep going back here again. All right. So when the pots and pans and everything flew out, that was your wake up saying there was something wrong in the room, correct?
Yeah, that was when I realized that, like, this is all real.
Okay, so
Okay.
and you said you turned the TV on, and I understand that when I've done that before too. And
Yeah.
you stayed up until formation time. And so nothing else happened the whole entire time you had the TV on in the room.
Nope.
Okay,
And after the pots and pans, that was it for the whole night.
all right. So the flies in the room. So what's really cool about the flies in the room? It's not really cool, but what's one. Okay, yeah. I mean, windows open, holes in screens. You're going to get bugs in. I don't care what anybody says. There is no air conditioning in Germany, folks. You do open the windows. It's really nice. The summer I was there was absolutely brutal. It was like the hottest summer on record, and there was no break from it. I lived on the 3rd floor, and the heat rises, so it was hot. But flies in the room. What's killing me though is that when you're on the video, the Skype call with your ex, and what does she remember? I mean, does she watch you take this medication?
Yeah, I mean, she watches it all. I don't
So-
know if you remember back in the day, I guess, well, in that time frame that Skype had a messenger,
I never,
Type
so
at
I
the
never
bottom.
used it. Yeah, I never used it. So
but it had it, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jacob, you're
I
younger.
apparently unloaded like all kinds of German words. I don't remember any of it. I really don't. Like, I remember up to what I told you about, and that was it.
Okay, so but she said you typed in German words?
Yeah. And I went back and watched them. I looked at them, just took pictures of it.
What were they?
Nothing. It meant nothing. It was like random words that meant nothing. There was no sentence. Die, health, gracious. That was one I remember.
Okay, well that's something, dude. I promise. Yeah, words. Yeah. Die, hell,
At
gracious.
the moment, it was nothing.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, now we're looking at it. I mean, be honest with you, you're just kind of solidifying more and more in my theory here. And then the flies, to where you didn't see the hundreds of flies, but she saw them on the camera.
Yeah. And everybody that came to my room, like I got buddies that I was in Germany with, it was like, I feel so creepy when I'm in your room, but nobody could explain why. Like I didn't have an explanation. But like, oh, they saw something. It was just like they felt weird.
All right, I don't want to get too personal with you on the show, but I do want to ask. So, and I'm only coming at this from a soldier's perspective.
Yeah, gotcha.
Who's gone through divorce while in service.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you talk to your ex-wife a lot in the room?
No.
Did you want to talk to your ex-wife a lot?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, did you miss her? Were you trying to patch things
No.
up? Were you trying to reconcile?
No. Me and my ex-wife were totally together for the contractual obligations that the Army provided.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but she watched you do this, and you have no memory of that at all.
Yeah. No. If it
I'm
wasn't for her, I'd be dead.
Well,
Well, between her and my best friend. Yeah.
Well, so here's the next thing too, though. Is what I'm trying to figure out is what something had a trigger, because I think you opened yourself up while you were Skyping with her and let something in without realizing it.
I can tell you exactly how the night went.
Now, if you want to talk to me about it off air, we can, which is not a problem.
Well, no, I don't care. Like, I'm 100% transparent. I don't care.
Well, I understand, but I mean, it's just okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, the night went good. Like, we were at the fair, the Volks Fest. I'm sure y'all probably had that when you was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, everything was good, man. Then we got back to my room. My buddy was there. He said, I'm fixing to go take a shower, and then I'm going to pick up our to-go order, which was Chinese delivered with a bottle of wine. And that's the last thing I remember, really. So it'll happen after that, I guess.
Yeah, you said that she saw like a ton of flies on the camera.
Yeah, on the camera.
All
Like
flying in a circle.
20, 30, I don't know. She mentioned the flies. I responded to the flies, and then that's really it.
Man, Jerad, I'm gonna say this place
2
is
days
haunted.
later. Oh, yeah, it was super haunted, man.
Yeah.
It's beyond haunted.
Oh yeah, it's haunted, and
That's what I was
whatever's in
saying,
your
like,
room.
like I say evil, and we shouldn't say demonic, and this and that. And this is the only experience I have is when I was in Germany. But I could say that if any kind of spirit was probably going to be demonic, it's probably them.
Well, I will take. Well, not all the Germans were evil at that time frame. The ideology was evil. Don't get me
But
wrong.
the people that was stationed there was evil.
And that very well could have been. I will tell you the fact of the matter that I do think that something evil, very extremely evil, is there. Germany in itself is an old country, an old land, old legends, old history, and who knows what was there going on before Schweinfurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
yeah, it's
There's not a lot of info.
no. Unless you're there and you got to get with the locals, and the locals aren't, honestly, they're open to a point, but they're not. The Germans are great, but still a very good secretive people, and I love them. I love the German people. I honestly really do. Germany was by far my favorite duty station, and it was
me too.
because of
For sure.
the country was beautiful. The people were great. I had such a good time. I brag about it all the time. The good food,
me
good
too,
beer.
man.
I loved living in Bad Kissingen because I was away from Schweinfurt, so I didn't deal with a lot of soldiers. I was able to deal with a lot more locals. And
That's what I was going to say. Like, you can really tell where you go if there's no base like right near it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I loved about Bad Kissing. You know, all we had there was a little commissary and a itty bitty tiny shopette that was the size of my living room, and the commissary was a little bit bigger than my house.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger than my house, and that would have been for storage. Seriously, I mean, yeah, it was tiny. It was just a little housing area that they put us in for those of us stationed in Schweinfurt. And we would go out on the economy all the time. I had German Chinese food, which was hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the
And then
German
buy a
version of
bottle wine,
Chinese.
They'll deliver it to you.
Yeah, did they still have the Greek place with the horse place outside of Con?
Mm-hmm.
That restaurant there? Oh, that was such good food.
You remember the Rock Fabrique? Or I think it was called the Rock Fabrique.
Oh, the bar.
Yeah, it was a bar.
Yeah. So
I think it was just called the Rock Bar.
I didn't go out in Schweinfurt because I lived in Bad Kissingen.
Mm.
There was a pub, a little tiny pub outside the gate, and that's where we would go.
Mm.
And they had like pool table, like 2 pool tables, little dartboard. It was like this neat little, European little pub that we would go drink beer at. Me and my buddy Strew. So, but anyways, wow, the chapel on fire thing too. There was so much like, okay, so, the voice recorder, the chapel on fire. I mean, I really think this place was on fire.
Chapel on Fire is probably the scariest one of all of them. Like, I don't even care about my dead buddy or like anything else.
I would
really.
think that the
Chapel
attempt on
Fire
your
scared
life.
the hell out of me.
Well, the attempt on
Excuse
your
my
life.
language.
You're fine. The attempt on your life just scared the hell out of you.
Do what?
That would have scared me. The attempt on my life, if I'd have been in your shoes, that would have freaked me out.
It scares the hell out of me now, but I guess now that I have somebody to believe in, like I feel different, I guess.
Okay. You just left that wide open, buddy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, like back then when it happened, like, yeah, it was just like another Tuesday, I guess. But now, like, I understand the significance of my life through religion, but with my family.
Yeah.
I guess.
No. I picked up on what you were saying there. I get that.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, man, it was wild.
Yeah, it was
And
funny
of course,
too.
I got I think a Yeti story. I don't really know if I have a Yeti story.
Well, hang on.
I'm gonna guess it's
I'll get to the
story.
Yeti one here in a second because the only thing is, what's funny is that you reminded me. So when I was at Carson, Fort Carson, I had a buddy of mine. His name was Carson as well. That was his last name, ironic enough. And he had lived in a haunted room there in Germany and said the same thing. I mean, he pulled me aside because I've always been into this stuff, always have. So
Yeah.
every I've been into, hey, Sergeant Orton's kind of the weird one. What's fine? I'm always weird. I like that. I'll be honest with you, I wore this stuff like a badge. But, and he was like, hey, Sergeant, let me talk to you. And he told me all this crazy stuff about his room, and he thought that it followed him from Germany to Fort Carson.
Well, being from Germany and knowing at least what I dealt with, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
the guys the guys even in our barracks were like, they every once in a while they crack a joke about it. The barracks being haunted. And, the only time that was ever really talked about, honestly, openly, was in Germany. I mean, out in Graf, I had something weird happen. So,
Really?
yeah, I mean, we saw on the Bradley Thermal, there was a white signature. It was white hot. And Smitty was in the gunner seat, and I was in the BC seat. And he called that contact, and I was like, "What? There should be nobody here." You know what I mean? Yeah, we're not being, they're not trying to, the scouts aren't trying to probe our lines. They're not trying to do this. They're not trying to do that. And so I'm looking through the BC site, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And I popped up out of the hatch, and I got my night vision on. I'm looking out there, and I popped back down again. I was just about to tell him to laze it, so I could kind of estimate in the dark how far away it was. And we saw in the side, it suddenly zipped left, zipped right, and zipped straight up skyward. And when that happened, we both stood up out of the turret, looking, trying to see this thing, and didn't see a damn thing.
Really?
So, yeah, but it was, Germany was, creepy. The woods were creepy. I got other stories for another show. I want one of the guys. I almost talked to him. I did talk to him a couple months ago. You remember the guy that moved down, the Hispanic soldier of mine that we talked to on the phone briefly? We had a hard time with the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. His story is, if I could get Scotty to come on.
Got to get him on.
This guy's, he's on Facebook, but he's not active on Facebook. So,
well, shoot him a message sometime.
I have. The message is still sitting there unread. Like, doesn't even say when he was like, he hasn't been online or posted anything in like 3 years.
Holy crap. Maybe he changed a different profile or
He
something.
might have. So, but anyways, I think it's really haunted. So, Jerad, okay, but you said you got a Yeti encounter?
Well, I don't know what it was. I don't really know. So I worked for a subcontractor for a company that was on a natural gas pipeline. And an individual that had been on a pipeline for about 15, 16 years, something like that, called me over to help him. So I go out there, and this is in between Bald Knob and Painburn. So if any of y'all know where that's at,
I do.
understand.
Yeah, we know Bald Knob quite well.
Yeah.
White County.
Yeah. So we go out there, and we're having to fix this well on a natural gas line. And then we're hanging out, doing the business, hitting the knuckles, pulling them off, getting everything out. Then we hear a scream. And it's not like a regular scream. Like I've heard so many times in my life that, I was always told a panther, but I guess it's a mountain lion. Like has some kind of female scream. And I heard that, but then below that I heard like a real low guttural, like growl. Wasn't even scream. So then I knew it wasn't couldn't have been a cat. And the guy that I was with, he had been doing this for like 15, 20 years. He got up and bounced out, got in his truck, rolled his window down, said, well, I guess we can fix this tomorrow. Pretty much where it happened. I got in his truck and left too.
A lot of people would have. Okay, so, all right. Yeah, Bald Knob is where investigation area is at, and there's White County for some reason is so hot. It's hot, full of activity up there. Okay, so there have been cat sightings up there.
Big cat.
Yeah, so there have been big cat sightings up there. Have you played around with any of the big cat sounds? To see whether that was something you heard?
No.
Okay, yeah, because that's the only.
No,
Yeah.
I just heard from old wives tale.
Yeah, because you may have had, honestly, a big cat that's not recognized in Arkansas, living here in Arkansas, and
Could be.
hold on, ready, is considered a cryptid
Maybe.
because it's undiscovered.
Yeah.
See that everybody gets the idea of cryptid that I'm Bigfoot, dog
you
man,
do
Mothman.
got a point on it.
Yeah. So you may have had a cryptid encounter. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Oh, you can't hear it on my phone. That's right. I can't. Yeah, if I play it, you won't be able to hear it.
Which one?
I was gonna try and find a sound for him. Yeah, trying to find a Oh shoot! Why is the name of the cat escaping me? Do a mountain lion sound.
Okay.
We're
If
gonna
it
play.
wasn't for the low growl underneath it,
Oh,
I probably
they-
would have
we're
thought
gonna-
it was just a cat.
We're gonna. Yeah, it may be a cat. We're gonna play it for you. But they're up there. In the Bald Knob area, there's a couple sightings of them.
I can believe it.
Yeah, it's like some weird area. Jacob's gonna pull it up and he's gonna hold it up to the microphone here in a minute. As soon as he can pull it up, just do like mountain lion and then do like cougar and puma and no scream. Oh, wow, I heard that.
Nah.
Hang on, he's got to hold it to the microphone. Hang on. We got a commercial. Hang on. I love YouTube. He's trying to find one. This is great radio for
I
everybody.
know, right?
Wonderful.
It
radio.
won't let me fast forward it.
Yeah, but well, Jerry, it may have been. But that's pretty cool, though. What year was this?
2014.
About 10 years ago. Okay, that's not. Yeah. Well, I mean, ironic enough is it. I mean, there's. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could have heard a squatch too. Hell, I don't know.
I don't know what I heard either. It scared the hell out of me.
I just be honest with you. I love the fact, even for those little things. Yeah, out in the woods, we were doing this. We heard a scream. Try that. Okay, ready?
Yeah, I got to play it back. Yeah.
Is that kind of what you heard?
I didn't hear it.
Ah, you have to listen to it on the episode then. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why you were quiet there for a minute. Yeah, we were playing this cat sound. All right, I tell you what, Jerad, man, this has been a pleasure. You're a Steeler fan as well, so we gotta say go Steelers.
Yes,
Man, I appreciate you coming on and being transparent about everything that took place with you. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry for what you went through over there.
Well,
And
no, I don't feel that way.
well, what
don't
I mean
feel
by
that
I'm
way.
sorry is that one, it sounds like you recovered from it quite well. I'm sorry you had
Yeah,
to go through
I
it.
did now. Like, I'm good now.
Well, good. Well, I tell you what, you need to come down, watch the Steeler game with us before the season ends, or come down, watch the playoffs with us.
All right.
Yeah, I'll send you the information and everything out the show. But Jared, man, yeah, this thing, yeah, it's almost if I keep it going, it's gonna be an hour and a half show. But
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you being transparent, and coming out and you talked about some hard hitting stuff. I do like the fact that you talked about how you don't know how it happened with the pills and everything. I do think something possibly demonic brought that on. I mean, I'm kind of stuck on that one, but I mean, did you have any thoughts about it before?
Well, for a long time, I thought that maybe if it was something bad, it probably German. But I remember one night, me and my buddy had our voice recorder. We went down in this room, and they had it's like a U-bolt, but it was like affixed in the concrete. So it was like bolts on the floor,
Yeah.
I guess. So I was like, why do y'all have all these bolts on the floor? And then somebody came through and said bolts. And I'm like, well, that was English.
Well, when it comes to some of the demonic, I think they're going to be able to speak the language of whatever they're dealing with. You know what I mean? So if you were Russian, you would have heard
I
Russian.
agree.
Yeah. So if you were Russian, it'd have been speaking Russian to you.
I don't know, man. I just don't want to compare myself to GA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do.
No. Did you just touch me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me taunt you
Yeah,
all night
I
long,
mean-
and then when something happens, I'm going to get scared. Anyways, I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
Everything's a demon.
I know everything's. I make fun of it all the time. I do. I do. And the audience who's been listening for a while should know who I'm talking about.
I'll say this much, and I said it a while ago. Like, if anything was going to be evil, it's what I dealt with.
Yeah, because I've been in numerous haunted locations, and I can't really say. I mean, there was something bad at the house I lived at in Copper's Cove, but I don't know what it was. But I'm not going to say it was evil. It wasn't demonic. I mean, I have a theory about what happened one night at the end. But I mean, lived in a haunted house there, in Utah when I was a kid, and that there was something evil there. It wasn't like really strong or like a demon or anything, but it was not nice. So it was a bad spirit. Bad spirit. No treat for you. This is how I am when I'm out in the woods. This is how I am. Oh yeah, this is just how I am. I mean, I'm that guy. I'm the first one dead.
Well, if you come up here at Bald Knob, you better holler at me.
Well, I tell you what, we are planning an expedition after
Hunting season's over.
Hunting season's over. So I'm not, the owner of the property does not want us up there until after season's over because it wants to scare away all, the prey. So,
I got you.
But Jerad, the only thing I do, worry about is the fact of the matter that, so the night with the pills, when you took the pills, and if it's too personal, just let me know. We'll talk about it off air.
No, you're good, bud.
Were you already thinking of doing this beforehand?
I don't remember the pills.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Never got the pills.
weeks. Were you depressed? Were you
No.
were you feeling like?
Well, look, I was depressed. I was feeling some kind of way, I guess. The guys that I deployed with, like, they were in my unit. I was trying to stay in my unit. I did everything I could to stay in my unit, but it didn't happen. So I was definitely depressed.
Yeah, that's okay. So, but you weren't suicidal.
No, I've never felt like I wanted to die. My first child was born like 2 months after I turned 17. So, yeah, I've had some kind of meaning of life, I guess.
All right, that's why. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure of that one, buddy. That's all. Because I was just kind of curious whether So, all right, man, Jerad, again, I got to wrap this up. Let me bring it in for a landing. Man, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show. I really do. Yeah. And
yes, sir.
I appreciate that. And real quick, everybody out there, we do have a Patreon up there. Go ahead, check out the Patreon link. I did not put that to the intro. So check out our Patreon. If it does help support the show, I do appreciate it. Whatever tier works for you. If you want to do it, great. If not, great. There'll be some bonus content up there. And there's going to be some Discord. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you get access to. And Patreon members get a chance to go out and go on expeditions with us as well. So, but all I can say on that one is if you've had an encounter, you want to talk to us, reach out, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. Follow us on our social media platforms. And until next time, y'all stay safe out there.